Hello Doctor Who fans, and welcome to another DVD review. This is my February DVD review, and it is of quite a controversial story in the sense that it is sort of a guilty pleasure of mine, The Nightmare of Eden. So let's go and look how this DVD is presented, then we will go on my thoughts on this story. For the cover we have the grey TARDIS roundels there, BBC DVD Doctor Who The Nightmare of Eden. Then on the cover we have two mandrels, and you can see that the production values are a bit sloppy, and it just shows in the sense that you can see the actor in the mandrel suit there. Then we have the Fourth Doctor there, and then we have them, well, the background is of Eden, Fourth Doctor there with a sonic screwdriver, Romana and K9, and then we have the Fourth Doctor there with his dates, PG on the side, Doctor Who, Fourth Doctor, The Nightmare of Eden with a bit of Eden carried on the spine. On the back we have some stills from the story there with Tom giving the mandrel a good old hug, which is very nice. Then we have Bob Baker, who is more commonly known for writing stories with Dave Martin, so this is his first and only story which I think he went solo for. Then we have the back bit of information on the story itself, and then we have the special features there and when this story is first broadcast, and the total runtime is 100 minutes. So that's the way this DVD is presented. Now let's look at the booklet. So let's go there is the mandrel there, which is very nice, and then we have production notes. Then we have commentary, and then special feature wise we have the Nightmare of Television Centre going solo, the Doctor Strangelove, then we have photo gallery, Radio Times listings, production subtitles, and the coming soon trailer, which I think is the Ace Adventures, or I think it's the Ace Adventures, not too sure, but I think it is. Then we have some more production stills there, and we have the lovely chapter points there. Oh yes. So that's the booklet. Now let's go on to the disc. There is the Nightmare of Eden disc cover there. Okay, so what are my thoughts on the Nightmare of Eden? The Nightmare of Eden is definitely one of my guilty pleasures of mine, with this story combining intriguing sci-fi ideas with real-life horrors such as drug dealing and drug smuggling, but it's told in a fun way. The story does have some really cheesy moments, especially with the captain character, especially with one of the cheesiest moment I can think of is when the two ships fuse together and the captain looks directly at the camera and goes, "Oh no," and it's just a rather cheesy moment, but this story is not meant to be taken seriously, even though it's got quite a serious topic withheld in the plot. But I just find it's just an easy watch in the sense that, you know, you can just sit back and, you know, you can tune off for a couple of minutes and you can still understand what's going on in the story, which is great. Now, I have to say this is a story for Tom Baker's witty side of his Doctor, with him getting some really funny bits of dialogue, where there's a bit of a moment where the two captains are having an argument about the ships fusing together, and you've just got Tom and Romana just looking and doing sort of head tennis, in the sense of going back and forth looking at the captains, and it's a great moment. But one of my infamous moments from this story is Tom leading the mandrels, these creatures, back to the device where Eden is, and Tom is basically using a dog whistle to attract their attention. It's just great. And also there's a bit where Tom leads the mandrels back into the ship and back into Eden, and he's basically, his coat gets ripped up, and he's basically going, "Oh, my arm, my legs, my everything," and that is just a brilliant and funny bit of dialogue. Supporting character wise, the captain, played by David Dacre, who is plays this rather cheesy sort of captain, not your traditional captain, but quite a comical captain, and you're wondering how the hell did he qualify to be a captain. But it's definitely an interesting performance by him. Other cast members are pretty good. Yeah, they're okay, and Lala Ward does her best in this, and K9 is definitely interesting, especially with his voice. Anyway, my overall thoughts on the... Oh, of course, I forgot the main foe, the Mandrill. Well, they're not the main foe, but the Mandrill, I have to say, I really do like the design of them. I think they're quirky, and I think they have a brilliant twist in the story, and I'm not going to reveal that because that's quite a big plot point, and it's definitely a really nice twist to have. Overall, Nightmare of Eden isn't meant to be taken seriously. The story, it has a great amount of moral undertones, what sort of get washed aside a bit by the humour, but I think you need it to be quite a light because it's quite a heavy and dark subject, so to make it more funny, it just makes it easier for people to understand it. And I'm going to have to rate this story 7 out of 10 jelly babies. A fantastic little story, not to be taken seriously, and it's definitely worth a watch, and it's a story for Tom. Tom gets some great moments. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this review of the Nightmare of Eden. My next review will be 1,000 Tiny Wings, the first part of the Klein trilogy, because I'm going to go through that Big Finish trilogy with 1,000 Tiny Wings, Survival of the Fittest, and the Architects of History. So I'll see you in that review, and yeah, hope you are all well, and I'll see you in my next video. So for now, goodbye.